Dave,
Wow.
welcome to the great place.
General.
AJ, great to see you.
General, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks
What an
for
honor.
coming.
Thank
It's
you
great
so
to meet
much.
you
Great to
guys.
meet you too.
Thanks,
Great to meet you.
thanks for coming.
General Funk reached out to me. He's been a Dodger fan since he was a kid. And so as I got this job in 16, he reached out by way of email, and we just sort of forged a friendship.
I'm a lieutenant general in the United States Army, been in the Army 56 years, and the commander of the 3rd U.S. Corps at Fort Hood, Texas.
He's very big on, obviously, leadership and with baseball and the Dodgers, and we wanted to connect personally, so I made a trip out there this past winter and brought a good friend of mine, fellow manager, AJ Hinch.
This is my dad.
Hey, how are you?
General Funk, it's a pleasure.
Nice to meet
It's a
you.
pleasure. Nice to meet you. It's a pleasure.
I've been a Dodger fan since 1947. I don't want to get to the Astros.
Yeah.
Give me a hard time, Coach.
It's okay. I'm in good company.
But you're my favorite in Texas.
There you
That's
go.
right, that's right.
Been in this Army because I was born into it. I was born right here at Fort Hood, Texas. My dad also served here as the 3 Corps commander and as a lieutenant, just like I did. I am incredibly blessed every day to come to work with men and women that serve and sacrifice the way these great soldiers and their families do every day.
How you
This
doing?
is my son, Nate.
Nate, Dave Roberts. Nice to meet you, Nate.
Nice to meet you.
AJ Hinch, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
So look which one he's wearing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's a Braves fan, but that's okay.
That's okay, that's all right.
He's a Jackie Robinson fan.
Yeah.
I've had this jersey for a long time.
Yeah.
So this
So Jackie was in the Army and
Stationed
then
here.
stationed here.
Yes.
His legacy is civil rights and what he did, and I think that we get so quick to look at him as a Dodger and what he did in baseball, which is monumental. But he was fighting that fight years before baseball and in the military.
Let me tell you a story about it. It's not a great story from
Okay.
the local community standpoint. It's changed a lot since then. He was told to go to the back of the bus in downtown, in this case Temple. He wouldn't do it. So they court-martialed. He was acquitted.
Good.
This was many years before Ms. Parks. I mean, she's
Sure.
the real hero, but there's another way that this man did things like that. So he'll be part of
The bigger issue became when Jackie was taken to the military police headquarters because an argument ensued. But the court-martial dealt with all the events that happened with the arguments at the military police. And Jackie ends up acquitted of all the charges.
Ultimately, as it kind of went through a hearing, he was honorably discharged, which led him to baseball. You're so into leadership.
Yes.
And so where our profession, where athletes and social media and all this kind of stuff, where it's a smaller group than you have to command all these soldiers, we can essentially tell a player exactly what to do, jump, and how high am I going to jump. Because they're not trained, our guys are not trained that way, coming from Cuba, from Dominican Republic, just different backgrounds, and it's not life or death. For me, people that are in leadership positions that are very humble and very open to growing really intrigues me. Is it just always been ingrained in you to understand the culture as opposed to just telling people, soldiers, what to do? Because that's not necessarily culture, but you're really into culture.
I am, because it becomes, you want a culture of excellence. So you have to model that behavior, and so you have to have people that are willing to look up to you to follow it too. What you said about some guys are from Cuba, some from the Dominican, we have the same thing. I mean, I have that same process. I've had kids from Vietnam tell me, I serve because this is the greatest country in the world, and we want to give something back. I've had kids from East LA tell me, I was trying to get away from something that's not great, and I wanted to change my life circumstance, and I want to be a role model for my kids or one of my siblings. Those kinds of stories and that kind of culture comes from shared sacrifice and shared commitment to service.
For him to even think about trying to mentor me in any capacity blew me away, to be quite honest. but there's also when you have a respect and a love for the man, where it's like, I want to do right by him and my job and my country, where it's like, then it keeps continuing to filter down and out, which is, for me, it's like, it's very transparent, and that's a credit to you, really.
A sports team is like an Army team. You have to build a foundation. You have to have a foundation of values, a foundation of servant leadership, a foundation of shared customs, courtesies, procedures, and a absolute culture that recognizes excellence and believes in hard work and believes in loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage.
But I meant what I said about,
Yes.
you were absolutely right. You're what you're worried about,
Yes.
the guy on your left
Yes.
and right. You care most about them.
Yes.
That's what we really fight for.
Well,
In the end, that's what it is.
well, thank you for everything you've done and what you've done for your family and our country.
They've done for me.
Your legacy is going to live forever.
Well,
It's
we
going to
hope
live
so.
forever. No, that's a fact.
Good luck, you guys.
Thank you, sir.
You hear that? We're going to take a little aerial tour.
So we hear.
Yeah.
Hank, let us know. This is going to be a special treat.
All right, I think they told you about the button on the side.
Yes, sir.
If you want to talk, this one right here. And I'll be
Yeah, I
your
got
tour
you.
guide.
It was pretty cool. I wouldn't say I was nervous. I was more excited. I felt I was in pretty good hands with our U.S. Army.
We've got 100 ranges around this impact area where we can do everything from helicopters to missile firing to jets dropping bombs to all our tanks. So General Funk commands our largest, basically the largest armor formation for the United States Army.
Just to tour the base and to see all that's going on while we were up in the air was fascinating.
Out to that side is the actual live fire area that Hank's talking about here. But you can come out here and roam around in your tanks and Bradleys to your heart's content. We also got pretty good duck hunting.
It gave me a lot of kind of insight to what his responsibilities were and how vast they were.
So you're looking out the window here to the east, and this is just one of our 100 ranges that we manage. It's just range after range of capability to train our soldiers, and they're pretty much active 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
This is a bucket list. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I mean, just to hear the stories and to see really understand the scope and kind of really make sense of this, but the stories that the general has and all the people, the soldiers, to kind of be in it a little bit for a moment in time is pretty special.
That can never get old, can it?
No, I
gets
will
old.
tell you, when it's 130 degrees
Oh, right.
and you're wearing all your kit,
Oh, right.
it gets a little old.
Okay.
Spring training. This is spring training.
No question. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
same thing. That's what we do.
But it's spring training, but the difference is we know when the season is going to start.
Yeah, we don't.
You don't know when the season's
We
up.
have to
You
be
gotta
ready.
keep being ready
We gotta
and
be
being
up for
ready
the
and being
last
ready
week of
and being
spring
ready.
training all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
and,
what's-
and that can take a toll, which is
Right.
it can.
Of
So
course.
for these, a lot of these young men and women are going to go back and perhaps deploy again. Invariably, all of them are going to deploy again at one time or another. So it's an intense bit of sacrifice from families and from the individuals.
One of the pillars of leadership and how I live my life is gratitude. These people, they need our continuous support and appreciation for the sacrifices that they and their families make. Sir, how are you doing? It's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Whenever I get a chance to talk about it, to say thank you, I take that opportunity. But to put our feet, on this base really resonates with us and what you guys do really for us, and really to see how much energy our general has for each individual, and to go around and know soldiers by names and want to put his hands on them, and how much passion and love he has for the story, and to hear from his father who was a general on this base as well. It's really profound. And my father served our country for 30 years, and we can look back at times and times of war where our servicemen and women weren't appreciated. And so with how things have gone in the last few decades, it's been really important. Thank you very much. Thank you for your service. To support them, to encourage them, I feel it's a responsibility.